All right. Thanks for tuning in again to the Cross Up Podcast. My name is Alan. I'm here with our fellow hosts, Kris, Daquan, and Jeremy. Today, I feel like, we did an episode talking about our anime hot takes, and I'm sure plenty of people were happy about that one. We decided to kind of give our, not necessarily maybe our top 9 favorite anime of all time. For Daquan, it's literally what's on screen at the moment. That's it.
That is it. Yeah.
But we figured we'd give some of our favorites or impactful anime, and we decided to do a 3x3 because it gives you a visual, and then you can kind of see where our tastes come from, I guess. So, like I said, this one on screen, it's Daquan.
I know it's impressive. I know
It's quite crazy.
It's one of the best things you ever see in your life. Look at this.
Tell me you grew up in the 90s and early 2000s without telling me you did, and then that's all you watched.
This is all I watched. Or read, either of the two. This is
this is it.
And you know what's funny? Most people probably don't even know what the one under Dragon Ball is, and that's okay.
And you know what's crazy? I do, because I think I had a toy of the robot in the middle, and I don't remember its name.
I think it's Metabee.
Is it Metabee? I couldn't even tell you why I even got into it, but I remember having toys of that series.
Yeah, Metabots are a savage. Even though I don't think it's called Metabots in Japan.
In Japan, it's a different name. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a different setup. But I had the video game for this. I had some toys for this. I had some cards for this. Metabots was cool to me, like the robots. I didn't get into the big ones, but I like the more human-sized robots. So that worked out for me. Pokemon is Pokemon, so everyone should love Pokemon. If you don't, I don't know who you are. Yu-Gi-Oh is Yu-Gi-Oh until it wasn't 5Ds and beyond.
Wait. I could not believe Daquan just said that, because we both have the same agreement, right? This is the first time in a long time that we agreed on something.
All right, repeat it one more. Yeah.
That 5Ds is where it cuts off. Anything after that, trash.
Yep. It's pretty much trash. Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
Write it down. Send it to
write it down.
Write it down.
Even the broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah,
it is. It is. That is.
All right. So before we go in and give him shit for it, any thoughts on first impressions, Jeremy or Kris?
I don't recognize 2 of these.
I'm assuming it's Metabots and Rurouni Kenshin up on the middle top.
Yeah.
I figured. Okay.
I mean, the only one I recognize is Metabee, but everything else is respectable in their own right.
Exactly.
I mean, I think, like I said, if you grew up watching Toonami, you know every single one of these shows, and then like if you watched 4Kids, you would know Metabots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, it was like, I think if I remember correctly, Metabots was on in the afternoon on Saturdays and Sundays, and so even then you weren't like watching it during the week. And it was like a really awkward time. It was like 1 or 2. It wasn't even like after quote unquote school hours. And the only reason I know is because I watched way too much TV and that, like during that time frame. So
yeah, it's like a lunchtime situation. Every now and then they had like marathons, and it was like if you didn't get to see it, then you can like sit down and just watch. Then you can sit
down, Because this is also during the time period that I was also watching like Zatch Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Zatch Bell. Yeah, that's a good one too.
You could have put that one on there. That's a good one. But it's like during that like time of like quote unquote Toonami 4Kids and Jetix, because Jetix would show stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Naruto, we're already aware how you feel. Dragon Ball is kind of like a given. I think if you grew up watching anime, you have some of that to thank for Dragon Ball, no matter how you feel about it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon is kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon Digimon is like, again, you grew up watching all of these, if not at least 1 or 2 of these, and so it's like if it's on your list, it's like, it's just because of that. Metabots, I was not expecting. What the fuck? Where are you coming from with Metabots, bro?
Honestly, I'm still waiting for a new game, but I like Metabots.
Wait, did you like the game first and the anime, or the anime first?
Both.
I was about to say I watched the show first, and then I played the games, which were on.
I had it on Game Boy. It was a Game Boy game, and I think they had one for GameCube. But
I was about to say, I think I might have known the GameCube one. I don't think I knew the Game Boy one.
Yeah.
And
Game Boy
then
one was fire.
because on PS2 were all the Digimon Rumble games where you were fighting and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious why you put Rurouni Kenshin on here.
Do you really like Rurouni Kenshin that much, or you just couldn't think of anything?
No, I do like it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I wasn't really going to put Samurai Jack up here because it was kind of like those two were my like cool little samurai things I would watch when I was younger. But I don't know if Samurai Jack is anime, so I didn't put him up here. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I can stick with.
That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
What
Like,
you-
don't get me wrong, I like Rurouni Kenshin. It's a good show.
Mm.
I'm confused of why do you like it?
Did
Because
you
it's simplicity.
did you watch it or
Simplicity?
did you read it?
No, I watched it.
You watched it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you like simplicity, then you'll like Cowboy Bebop.
See,
You should
there's
definitely watch that,
that's-
and you should watch that genre of anime back then, because you will like it.
so there's a Netflix anime called, I think it's like Tales of Vinland or something like that.
Vinland Saga.
Yeah, the Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
The dad of the son is kind of in the same conversation of why I like Batu Sai, because like it's him specifically and how like the environment is around him, like, oh, all this other chaos, all the other stuff. You can take people out if you just decide to use more force, but 90% of the time he's just restraint. He's just like a restrained individual, very peaceful. I like that more than the more like hot-headed, I'm the cool guy with the smooth talking, whatever the hell. I don't like those type of animes. I just prefer the.
Well, I take that back. He would not like Cowboy Bebop or Trigun, I guess.
Yeah, I prefer very much.
Trigun, I would
leveled
probably
people.
say he wouldn't enjoy, but I think there's still a lot of enjoyment in the simplicity and not like necessarily like I think more. I don't know if realistic is the word I would use. Because I
Or
think
more
Cowboy
believable.
Bebop, it's more believable. Like the way it is. I mean, it's like it's a space western.
Right.
You're just following a bounty hunter, and it starts off kind of like a simple story. Like, oh, it's just you're just following the life of Spike as he's like trying to make money and make ends meet with I forget the other guy's name. Anyways, that's how it starts. And even the first few episodes in between are kind of very episodic, and they don't have any relation. And then there's like an overarching story as the more you watch. And while he is a very much a, I guess, quote unquote smooth talker, he's a pretty simple guy and he's chill. I don't think he's like that crazy. So I can't imagine you watching that show and just being like, I hate this dude.
Yeah.
What about Samurai Champloo?
Samurai Champloo, I think he probably wouldn't like because of how
Yeah.
not. I'm trying to think of a way to describe them. How
No,
to
no,
describe Mugen.
Yeah, don't worry. I had the same thought, Chris. But
Yeah.
I don't think he would like that either.
I don't think he would
It's
vibe
weird,
with
like, it does
Mugen.
yeah, it is. It does have its goofy like anime moments, but then like there's some fights.
It's
where
some very
like,
serious moments that are very
yeah.
good. Yeah.
when it gets serious, it gets serious.
Wait, so do you like real serious things, Daquan?
I like serious.
Yeah.
Do you care if there's magic involved and how serious it is?
Oh no, not at all. No,
And then why not watch Full Metal Alchemist?
I have seen Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't like
Which one,
dove
though?
into it. Oh god.
Did you
All I
watch-
know is
I think you can watch either one, the original or Brotherhood. I think you can watch either one.
I think
Uh,
I've seen Brotherhood because
okay.
there was one fight where someone's in a courtyard and there's some guy doing some flames and then
Yeah.
somebody runs in and I think there's like some earth thing that occurs and pretty much he's looking like, oh, but how so and so, and then he just pretty much shits on him or something like that. I think Brotherhood is the one that I've seen. I don't know about the
I
other.
think Brotherhood is the one that gives more story, right?
Oh, and it's the one that follows the manga more.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's
I should
really
probably
funny
go back
because
and watch it, though.
I find I think it's still really good. Like I think if you take the characters and the story, it's still really good. But I think you can tell that it's aged, and I don't think people are willing to like accept that. And it's not
For sure.
necessarily like the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh,
And
okay.
and what I mean by that is like I don't mean like, oh, the animation is worse or I think the story is bad or the dialogue is written horribly. I think the comedy that it does have is severely aged and does not hold up.
Mm.
I
so
can see that.
There's like
Yeah, it makes
there's
sense.
like a running gag that the main character is too short and he has like a problem with it and they will not drop it. And even back then, I can't imagine people thinking that was that funny. I remember even watching the show back in like 2011, 2012, and thinking like, this is dumb. Like, why is this like? We get it, bro. You're clearly mad. You're short. Get over it.
Yeah.
But I think everything else is really good. So
You know what? For you, I will take the time to find some serious anime that I've watched before and recommend it for you, because I need you to expand
there's
your
a
horizons,
lot.
player.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
'Cause
One
there
thing I
are-
will say.
Well, you should watch. I can't believe you've never watched like Monster.
No, I've never seen Monster. Oh, I forgot to put Goblin Slayer on here.
Goblin Slayer was
That
good.
thing is
Okay,
actually-
yeah.
Goblin
Yeah, I
Slayer.
like
We can
Goblin
add
Slayer. I
Goblin
forgot
Slayer.
about
Okay, so
Goblin
Goblin Slayer's at the bottom. We'll have editor put a picture down there.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer. That's,
Yeah,
that's,
but
I forgot
do you know
about
what
that.
Monster's about?
Mm-mm.
It's like 54-ish episodes, maybe a little bit longer. It's like from the mid 2000s. So it's got the old like kind of grainy, still like old school animation style, which I really like. But I think if I remember correctly, because I haven't watched it in a long time and I wanted to read it instead, is there's a doctor who saves the life of this kid, and the kid grows up to be a serial killer, and he goes around killing a bunch of people. And so the doctor then basically goes on a mission to help, or to go find this now serial killer to basically put a stop to him. I think it's like the very basic synopsis. And again, I haven't watched it since I was like fucking 12 or some shit. So I'm sorry if I'm like misremembering it, but like roughly speaking, that's what it's about. And it's really good. It's like, I think a lot of people don't like it because there's not a lot of action or things like that, so they think it's boring. But I think the story is really interesting. The way the characters are written was really interesting. And it's like, I'm also a really big fan of like dialogue heavy movies and stuff like that, as long as the dialogue is written really well. And I think Monster is like one of those that fits there. So I think if you want something like that's a little bit more of a commitment, and that you've never watched, like, it's definitely a different type of anime. You should give that a shot.
Okay. Monster it is.
It used to be on Crunchyroll and Netflix. I don't know if it still is, so it's up to you. So any closing out thoughts on this one? Yeah, we'll find it. Any closing out thoughts on Daquan's 7 or 8? Sorry, Goblin Slayer's there.
I was surprised that we both agree on Yu-Gi-Oh ending at 5D for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it, dude. Hey, as someone that watched more Yu-Gi-Oh, not all of it, I've watched more. I do agree that after 5Ds going into like Zexal or whatever the fuck, that's just not good.
Yeah,
it's not good.
No.
And the beginning of Arc V is also not great, but Arc V picks up. But 5Ds is better, so it doesn't matter.
Indeed.
Okay, so we'll move on. You know what, dude? We're gonna do
Who's gonna
Jeremy
get
next.
flamed next?
Wait. Don't do me. Pause it real quick.
All right, we're paused.
I had to redo it.
Oh, you had to redo it? Oh, okay, my bad. So ignore this. It's not Jeremy.
It's not Jeremy. Oh my god.
No, I gotta wait for the new one to come in. Give it a bit.
Oh, here it is, right here. There we go,
Ghost in the Shell?
bro. That show's too good.
I see. This is why people tune in. I see.
The movie with Scarlett Johansson. Let me tell you, I'm kidding. I'm so
Oh
kidding.
God, Jesus
Don't blame me
Christ.
on that one. I'm kidding.
This has.
I did watch it though. Whatever.
Bro, this is also like the
Whatever.
very stereotypical like boomer anime 3x3 I've ever seen.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you know who I am? I'm old as fuck.
Yeah,
Hold
dude.
I'm old. Dude.
I think so Bleach is top right. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
so
the-
it's Bleach, Cowboy Bebop in the middle, Death Note,
Yeah.
and then
Death Note.
and then middle left
that's
is Hunter.
Death Note?
Yeah, that's Death
Yes,
Note. Then it's Hunter, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, then Samurai Champloo, Ghost in the Shell. Is that the movie or the TV show?
The TV show, not
So
the movie.
standalone
Is that
complex,
JoJo?
and then
Yeah.
JoJo.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
You know,
well,
I
know
didn't put
except
Ghost in the Show
bottom
because I
left.
felt like that was just like. I mean, I think if you appreciate, like,
I mean, the reason why like 2 of these are in here because they're basically like crime thrillers at the same time as like sci-fi.
yeah,
Like Death Note and Ghost in the Shell for me, crime thriller and like sci-fi and stuff like that. I just like that just works for me.
I mean, when it comes to thriller, mystery, sci-fi, I don't think anything really gets much better than Ghost in the Shell. I think if people don't put Ghost in the Shell, especially like standalone complex, as like one of the top sci-fi shows of all time, it's because they haven't watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you guys give your opinion. Chris, any thoughts on this Boomer 3x3?
It's just so boomer. I think all of these are on Netflix.
All of these are on Netflix, other than Bleach, which
Yeah.
is currently
No,
airing, and
yeah.
JoJo, who's getting more parts animated. Everything is pre
No,
2011.
the JoJo, you can only watch like new stuff on Netflix.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say everything.
Like what's her name? The new protagonist. That one
Jolene.
just ended. Jolene. Yeah.
That's Stone Ocean, or is it a Steel Ball Run?
I think it's Stars. No.
Stone Ocean,
No,
I think.
I think so.
I don't know the parts. I've only watched up to JoJo Part 2.
Yeah, me and my wife has seen everything, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just like, what the fuck is? I always ask myself, what the hell is happening here?
I mean, bro, if you've heard like out of context JoJo from the manga, it's ridiculous.
It is. It's insane.
This is a good square though.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's a good square, and like I said, everything is pre 2011.
Yeah,
but again, the Yu-Gi-Oh thing, I do anything after 5Ds for me. It's just like, for me, the best storyline in Yu-Gi-Oh was with him and Malekith. That's
Malekith.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So this is good. This is good. Yeah. The only thing is, I never understand the Bleach fan base. I just don't. Like, I get because I know for Jeremy, the music is fantastic, right? He loves the music.
The same thing for Cowboy Bebop too.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to what's going on in Bleach, I'm like,
it's just like Naruto, bro.
I don't know if it's just like Naruto, because for Naruto, it's like, oh, I went out and trained for years. Now I know new jutsu that I can throw hands. But in Bleach, it's like,
I have for 5 minutes and go.
It's like, oh, I have a spirit attack level 2 now, so I win. But I have a spirit attack 2.1, so I win. But my sword is longer. It's like,
I will say,
I disagree with you, because that's what's happening in like the new seasons of Bleach.
It's basically what's happening.
It makes Kaylee mad. I'm just like, this is Bleach, bro. I'll let me tell you.
No, I will say, growing up, I didn't watch Bleach. And then I watched it. I started watching it in like 2012, 2013. I got through the first arc, and the first arc was fantastic. And then this is before I really found out what filler was, because I wasn't watching shit seasonally.
Yeah.
And so I went into
the
and then it went into the first filler arc, and I was like, this is dog shit, and I stopped watching. And so I didn't, for the longest time, I didn't like Bleach, but then I read it. I read all of Bleach. I've read all of Bleach like 4 times now.
You know the meme where the guy in space is looking at Earth, and then the guy with the point. That's what Bleach is.
That's exactly what Bleach is. But so because of the manga, I love Bleach. I don't know, something about it, the vibe, the aesthetic. I love the music in the show, and obviously, like the last arc, a lot of people in the manga had issues with it, but there's also like a lot of behind the scene issues with the manga artist and whatnot. But it's being like fixed with the new anime, so I'm back on board. So I don't know. It's something about Bleach, man. It's not on my list because it's not in my top 10, but it's like in my top 20 for sure.
Yeah. Another honorable mention for me is The Devil is a Part-Timer.
I don't
know why. That show is just kind of good.
That show is so
really good, bro.
Did you watch it in English or Japanese?
Japanese.
Oh, you should go back and watch it in English. It's actually so good.
You know,
there's certain shows.
I need to watch too.
Yeah, no, there's certain shows. Yeah, it's done now. There's certain shows that I prefer in English. Devil's a Part-Timer is one of them.
That's a very hard list to do too.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I can watch Bleach in English or Japanese.
That one
except for Orihime. I don't know why. The new Orihime is so weird.
I just Japanese only. I just can't do the English for Bleach. Especially as like I don't know, like it's already bad enough because I hate it, dude. In the Bleach anime, they made Orihime such a one-note bitch character, and I was like, I can't stand it.
I don't remember that in the original anime.
It's just as bad in the original anime.
Oh god.
And in the manga, she's like way more of a character, and she has more of a personality, and it's just like, and it's, don't get me wrong, it's like not that big. Like, it's just the way she was written wasn't great. Now, granted, in the 1,000 Year Blood War, she's a little bit better the way they're animating the new one, but like it's still not great. I don't think
the main reason why I like I think the main reason why I like this new season more, because every character has something else to do.
Yeah,
like in the original, most characters you see don't do shit for 14 seasons.
Checks out.
So we have Bleach. Cowboy Bebop is like a given. I think anyone. You know what's funny? Like more often than not, I feel like most people, if they like sci-fi and stuff like that, and they watch Cowboy Bebop, it ends up on their list. Like I know my friend Josh, it's his favorite anime of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been one of my top like 15 anime of all time. Even my wallet is a Cowboy Bebop reference.
Also, in regards to the Hunter x Hunter thing, I didn't realize Hunter x Hunter was pretty old. I didn't realize they rebooted it.
Yeah, it was done in.
So I watched it. So I watched it more recently, like maybe like in the past year or two. Like,
oh, okay. Yeah, because it was done in 1999, and then they reanimated it in 2011, and it went from 2011 to like 2014. I watched that one in a week.
My favorite line from that show: "Just don't worry, Kilo, I got this." I was like, "All right, well,
he's got this."
Okay.
Pokemon is again, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon are givens. JoJo was I wouldn't pick I wouldn't peg you for like a big JoJo guy. You like never talk about it. I swear to God, it's like
I like very stupid shit.
I mean, I like
stupid movies.
I mean, I
have
do
you ever
too.
Seen a movie called, you ever seen a movie called Lost the Pastor?
Yes, of course I have.
That sounds stupid. I like my shit, though.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't know, dude. People that love JoJo don't shut the fuck up about it. So, don't get me wrong. I like JoJo and I like the stupidity of JoJo. So I'm not like flaming you for it. I just wouldn't assume you'd be a JoJo guy.
Just like I wouldn't assume Daquan being the grown. You're like,
I mean,
yeah, it's just it's where it comes out.
JoJo is not for you, sir. Just say
it's where it comes out.
No, it's not. I've seen it. No, it is not. No, it is not. No.
Ghost in the Shell. What really struck with you with Ghost in the Shell? Is it just because again crime thriller, sci-fi?
Yeah.
She's at least Motoko is one of my favorite characters in anime, but it's like again, it's only from the show, not necessarily the movies.
Yeah. I've always told myself I need to go back and like rewatch the whole thing again.
Actually, if you can see that right there, it's a figure of her from the show.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You're very small, but yeah. I believe you.
Yeah, I bought that one. It was the last one of the display unit. I was like, bro, give me that shit. I'm taking it home.
And then the Pokemon, like, of course, I'll watch Pokemon if it's on, but I think they retire Ash, so I don't really care anymore.
See, do you care? Does like Ash not being the main character bother you that much? Like, I wanted to ask y'all since you guys all watch Pokemon.
I would say yes.
Yeah,
because it's kind of weird. It's just weird.
It's not that the new characters are bad.
No, yeah.
It's just Ash. It's just for me, it's just too nostalgic.
Yeah,
I guess that's fair. I can see that point of view.
Like I got nothing against it. It's just like this is a good jumping off point for me. Like, all right, cool. My Pokemon is done.
Pretty much, because it's like once they finally replace Goku, it's like who's really gonna be like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball is still Dragon Ball. It's like, where's Goku though? Like
where's Goku though?
Like it's a. I put this in the same camp as Boruto. Like once you replace the main character, the show no longer is
like it's the same thing for Yu-Gi-Oh. Like after a while, they stopped talking about Yugi.
Exactly.
And once they stopped talking about Yugi, I just was not interested.
I mean, I think they stopped talking about Yugi and fucking.
But 5Ds was good, so I'm not.
No, they still talked about Yugi in 5D.
Yeah.
Did they? I don't remember.
Well, that's because Jaden was a descendant, right? Like
no, in GX they talked about him, which is why I didn't say GX. It was the one after GX, which was 5Ds, I think. And like I said, I don't remember them talking about Yugi and 5Ds, but they could have.
And then like another reason for Yu-Gi-Oh was like me and my brother will play Duel Monsters all the time, and then we went to college play Duel Monsters all the time, and then you start adding all these fucking rules after like a couple of seasons. I'm like, dude, my brain hurts, bro.
You need a law degree to play Yu-Gi-Oh now.
Bro, it's not even that bad. It's like once you learn, it's easy, and I don't know how stuff works. I just don't. No, so for me, I stopped playing. I stopped playing because I hate link summoning. I hate the link mechanic. I stopped when Link started getting added in, and I was like, this is stupid. I don't like this. And now, granted, they've kind of revamped how Link works, and so it kind of plays more like older Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's not as bad. But I don't like linking as a mechanic, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I'll play old Yu-Gi-Oh all the time.
Mhm.
Older Yu-Gi-Oh, I should say, not old. And then Samurai Champloo, we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think
that shit was cooks, dude.
I mean, I think if you like Cowboy Bebop, you tend to like Samurai Champloo, but you definitely prefer one over the other.
Mhm.
I actually watched Cowboy Bebop and then Samurai Champloo immediately after. Because I was like, oh, the guy who did Cowboy Bebop also did this.
Did you watch it in Japanese or English?
I watched Cowboy Bebop in English, Samurai Champloo in Japanese.
Well, how was it in Japanese? I didn't even watch it in Japanese.
Japanese is pretty good. I actually like their voices a lot. I think Mugen's voice is like I can't remember if it was Mugen or the other guy. One of their voices kind of like not exactly matching or what I thought it would be, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Because I liked the show overall and it was good. It was really funny because Funimation owned the license to it at the time when Funimation was still around, and they just had it all on YouTube. And so they just had all of it on YouTube, and I just watched it through YouTube. All right, so any final closing thoughts on Jeremy and his boomer fucking box?
Not at all. That sounds horrible.
No.
But no.
Oh my god.
Also, Alan, I just sent two things. You want the one that's called Alt 2. So
Okay, let me pull it up. So this is the updated list for Daquan. He added in Goblin Slayer, and then he added in Bakugan, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I see it. I respect it. Just to let you guys know, before he got Bakugan on there, he had Attack on Titan on there, and that's why I said the one that's not gonna piss me off, right?
I did. But look, it's the same thing. It's like I said about Jeremy is what that is for you for Bleach, like the whole grandiosity with like the music and the action stuff. That's Attack on Titan for me. But I'm like,
that's fair.
I don't know if I can put it on the list. I was like, man, I really want that, but I kept thinking about it. Like, man, I really like Bakugan, so maybe I put that on. So,
Bakugan is good. Bakugan is good.
The toys were trash. I'm not gonna lie. They stayed breaking.
If you wanted toys, you went to what was the other one?
Beyblade.
Beyblade. Yes.
Beyblade. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, they're having a resurgence right now.
They are. It's crazy. Kids are coming back and getting Beyblades.
Hey.
All right, next one is I believe it's B Funky. Here it is. This is Kris's 3x3. So everyone take it in, look at it.
This is all slice of life stuff.
No, it's
bro, he
not.
has Attack on Titan right there.
I got look, I can explain everything.
All right,
Everything
hold on.
has a
You're not gonna
I,
explain yourself yet. We're gonna flame you first, and then you can defend
I
yourself.
only know 3 of these.
Wait, which ones do you know?
Just
No,
the Dragon Ball
so
Sword Art and
from
Attack on Titan. Man, that's it.
Okay, so from top left, you have Horimiya, you have Angel Beats, Sword Art, Free Run, Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan. You have a Silent Voice, Haikyuu, and then Gate.
I don't know any of these except for the same thing Jeremy said. The
all right, Boomers, don't worry. We'll walk you through it.
I'll walk you through it. No big deal. Okay, so to give you guys like a general gist and you can understand where it's coming from. The top left one is a slice of life romance, and it's really good. The manga is fucking phenomenal. I love that. I actually really like Horimiya a lot. Angel Beats, it's technically slice of life. They're kids
she
in
got
purgatory.
That bang on her.
Yeah.
Why she got a gun?
Don't worry about it, bro. She uses it too. Sword Art Online is. You guys know what Sword Art Online is, right?
Yeah, we know SAO.
Okay.
Like Sword Art, Dragon Ball, and Attack on Titan. That's all you get.
Okay. So Free Ren is a fantasy adventure action show that's more recent, and it got like a lot of popularity, but for good reason. It's actually really fucking good. Then you have A Silent Voice, which is actually a movie about depression, suicide, bullying, and romance at the end. It made me cry twice.
And then the Volleyball Boys.
And then the Volleyball Boys, obviously. And then Gate is an isekai where a portal to another fantasy world opens up in the middle of Akihabara. I think that's where it spawned. And then the bunch of monsters and stuff basically went in, kidnapped a bunch of Japanese citizens. So the Japanese government went to go and immediately started sending in their army. And the whole show is basically the army using guns, tanks, and helicopters and shitting on medieval fantasy world. It's super funny, but it's a lot of fun.
When was this made?
The Gate came out in 2013, 2014, maybe.
I think out of all these, I will watch Gate. But
Gate's
for,
good.
for me, slice of life, I don't really gravitate to.
That's fair. I think there's a lot of good ones, but there's also like a lot of really bad
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
I think from these, if you're gonna watch any of these, like I guess if you want like a romance, Horror Me is really good. I think Angel Beats again. Angel Beats is one of the ones that I watch in English. It's really good. It's also really funny. Free Ren is one I would recommend. A Silent Voice is what I would recommend, and then Gate.
Honestly, I was looking for Panty and Stocking, but I didn't see them on here. So
Penny and Stocking. I
didn't see them here.
I have that one on there, but I don't have it on my list.
Goodness.
I don't have it on my list. I do love that show though.
Sword Art is like one of the ones that I haven't really finished, but I'm curious, Chris, what about Sword Art do you really like?
Yeah, I'll start there. So the reason I have Sword Art on there is because that one opened up, I think for a lot of people, like at least it made it. Anime became more mainstream after Sword Art came out, and this is
because
just,
it
like,
was
first,
2012.
Yeah. This is just first, second season. I think it falls off like the general audience after that. So that's the reason I have it. I like it because it's like Alan said, it's one of those shows where I can watch it in English, I can watch it in Japanese. If I want to have something in the background that I like, don't want to pay too much attention to, I'll put it in English, and it's a good show just to have, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've watched Sword Art like 8 times all the way through.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
and like I said, I always cut it off at second season. After that, I'm sure it gets good, and I think I've watched
Alicization is really fucking good.
I think I watched most of Gun Gale, but that's besides that. So that's why I picked that one. And it could be like any isekai show, but I just picked that one because that was the first one that I got into. Angel Beats was literally, I think, the first anime I ever watched. And that one I watched in English. I think Alan and I watched it together.
We sat down and watched all of it.
Yeah, and it was just it's just like what got me into it. I was like, all right, I didn't know, because like obviously I would watch Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff, but like that was it. It was Angel Beats that was like, oh, so there's other stuff. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I even this is one of the very earliest animes. I think that was like the third or fourth anime I'd seen ever. And it was like, it started off like really goofy and really funny, and then by the end of it, I cried, and I was like, "Damn, anime's out here is crazy."
I think we watched it in like a day.
Yeah.
And then Horimiya is I like romance animes and like slice of life animes to a degree, because I think I agree with you, Jeremy. It was like, yeah, it can be absolute garbage. This one, dude, it is so good. It is so fucking good. They recently animated like some missing episodes, so you can go back and watch the whole thing how it's supposed to be. But like they're not. It's not like what you would think of like when you think of like Japanese romance anime, where it's like, oh my god, they take 8 seasons and then they hold hands. Like, no, dude, this is very realistic in a way that like their relationships feel real, their interactions feel real. They don't feel like animated at all. It's, if anything, it feels kind of like watching like a really good soap opera, but not with any of like that like
extra drama
extra shit. Yeah, it's just very, it's like if this was taken like the script was put into like a real life show, it would be fantastic. Like you walk away satisfied with the show. It's just the fact that it's animated that makes it like, oh, it's slice of life. Like, no, honestly, their relationships, their interactions are all very grounded, very realistic. It's great, and it has like goofy moments too. So it's not like super serious or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I have Attack on Titan for a very specific reason, and that's because I watched the first season when it came out way long ago. Yeah, but that was when I was still watching only dubbed. Like if I couldn't find it dubbed, I wouldn't watch it. That. Yeah. And Attack on Titan was the show that made me switch over to subbed, because if I wanted to keep watching it, I had to watch subbed, because the dub was taking forever. It was like a whole thing. So that made me switch over to subbed and be like, oh yeah, I can actually do this, because I would think like, oh no, like I don't want to fucking read, I just want to watch. So that got me into actually watching subbed anime, and that opened like a whole new world too. And like Dragon Ball Z, obviously, it's fundamental to everything. Like I'm talking about, like I will be in the gym, fucking listening to Dragon Ball edits, getting motivated off of Vegeta's speech, you know. Like it's instrumental to my like foundation. And I put Z specifically because that's the first thing that I watched. I know I later went back. I think in high school, Alan and I were watching Dragon Ball, like on our phones. But I didn't watch that until way later on.
I actually prefer Dragon Ball, like OG Dragon Ball.
Fair. It has its moments. I like it. But for me, Dragon Ball Z just has a more nostalgic feel to it. Like it I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse. It's just what I prefer. For Free Ren, dude, the visuals alone in this anime. If you have an OLED TV, turn your lights off, close your blinds, watch this show. It'll fucking take you away. It is so fucking gorgeous. The story itself, it's a serious story masquerading as a goofy one. There's so much subtext to everything that goes on in it, and I don't want to spoil too much if you ever want to watch it, but you kind of start at the perspective of the main character, and as she grows and realizes more things about the world around her, you get to see that as well. And like it does it by giving you flashbacks of things that we already saw, but they puts it in a new light. It's fantastic storytelling. It's just great, and the visuals are amazing. For Gate, I just put it because it's fucking goofy, and I love that concept. And I don't think I've seen it since, maybe like one other time. And I find it criminal that we haven't had this happen in like since Isekai took off. There has been literally hundreds of shows of Isekai, and this is still the only one that has this concept. That's insane to me.
There's a game, and that's what I was asking about. Like when this thing came out, there's a game that's being made where there's.
Oh yeah.
We watched the trailer for it.
So like for the concept that Gate has, like I would hope somebody would take that and make it into a game or a movie or something cool like that. I was just thinking for that other thing that I saw, I'm like, the other thing looks like a damn abomination compared to something actually fun. Like I don't know, on a dirt bike riding through a bunch of medieval people or like getting in a pickup, it just seems kind of trashy. But then for Gate, like you're mentioning, like the full force of the military out there, just like that is a different that sounds interesting versus
because it's based off of a light novel, so it was animated in like the mid 2010s, somewhere around there, but the light novel was serialized in 2006, so like that idea's been around and no one else is doing it.
It's just they're not getting picked up, I guess.
So boomer anime, got you.
I guess.
Boomer anime.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of anime, even some more of the modern ones, are fucking taken from shit that was made a long time ago.
100%.
So what you're saying is we're just all old at this point.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm just cool. Anyways, that's why I like that one. And then Haikyuu, dude, I never thought I would be one of those people that's like, an action that takes like 10 seconds is a 3-episode arc, and I enjoyed all of it, bro. This anime has one season, an entire season, that is a single game of volleyball.
That doesn't sound
just
good to me, bro.
Game.
That sounds just to me like horrible fucking pacing. And
let me fucking tell you, it works. It is so hype.
I can see how that works.
You'll be surprised that sports animes are just
dude. I also never thought I'd get into sports anime, and then I watched Kuroko no Basket, and that shit's hype as fuck.
There was a baseball anime that I watched for a review. That shit was insane.
Yeah, I think one of the more well-known ones is like Diamond, Ace of Diamond or Diamond No Ace.
That one.
Dude, the reason I like Haikyuu as well, and I didn't put fucking Blue Lock or anything like that on here, is because Haikyuu does something where they will show you the quote unquote enemy team or the opposing team or whatever, but they humanize them. They're not like, oh, these guys are assholes, these guys are terrible, we got to beat them, and we're the good guys because we
No.
beat them. Like, no, you will be sitting there watching one or the other lose, and you will be sad for the other one. Like, you will feel invested in both teams equally. And I fucking love that about that. And then with Silent Voice, oh my god, it wrecks you. It just destroys you. It's such a good fucking movie, and visually it's beautiful as well. But man, there's so much.
Now the story that
heart
it tells
in
and the
it,
message
yeah.
that it tells you is extremely beautiful. I fucking love
Yeah.
that movie.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Okay.
And it's just a movie, so like if you've got 2 hours to kill, or like an hour and a half, I think it's something like
That's
that.
an hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half. It is great, but just so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna be real. I wasn't expecting
Mhm.
Sword Art to be here. I was
It
motherfucker. I
has
was like,
a reason,
motherfucker
though.
put Sword. It has a reason. I'm just like, what the
All
fuck
right.
is he putting Sword Art on his list for?
You also had me make this at like 9 o'clock at night. All right, after I had been gaming from like 7 a.m.
It had to
till
get
9
done,
o'clock
bro.
at night.
First world problems, man. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
All right,
And I will say, yeah, honorable mention, Goblin Slayer is amazing.
Yeah,
I would have
it
put it
is.
on there, but I was like, there's so many things that I want to put, and so many things that I forgot about in the moment. This is just what I could come up with. That like,
Goblin Slayer is highly underrated.
mm-hmm,
I
Highly.
mean, there were other animes I want to put on there, but
yeah,
one, I wanted the seasons to like actually finish before I added them. Like not Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is one of them. I want to see how it
Yeah.
finishes. But then there's Hell's Paradise, which is also very good.
oh,
I need
that's
to
a
read
good one
that
too.
one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need to read that. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna read it.
that one's good too.
Any final thoughts closing out for his box?
Mm-mm. Pretty good.
Yeah.
list.
That's pretty solid. I don't
right,
think
let's
it'll
see.
feel that way with mine. Where's it? Here it is. Here's mine.
Oh no.
What is all this?
So from top left
I
to
only know
right.
one of these.
Sailor
Yeah.
Moon?
No, so from top left to right, we have Kill la Kill,
Oh, two. Oh, yeah.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, High School DxD. Then middle left is I wanted to put multiple things from this series. It's just Fate in general. I chose Unlimited Blade Works, but it's Fate in general as a whole. Same with the middle one is the Monogatari series. You have the right is Yozakura Quartet, specifically Hana no Uta, because it's like like a reboot that did it properly. Then bottom left you have The Garden of Sinners or Kara no Kyokai, which is a movie series. It's 8 movies. Then you have Katanagatari, and then you have Hellsing Ultimate on the bottom right.
I did not realize I was Hellsing. at all.
Yeah, it's a la carte.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know any of this, I'm be honest. I have heard of the one top right, I think, at some point.
I'd be
I've heard
surprised
the
if you
top three.
hadn't.
Yeah, like I've heard the name, but that's kind of it.
Uh,
I thought
Like
this was Sailor Moon.
Evangelion is pretty good.
yeah.
I really like
Okay,
that
so
one.
I'll give you general synopsises of all of them. So the top left one, the main character, which is the black-haired girl in the middle, her dad was, if I remember correct, it's been a while, sorry guys. I think her dad was murdered. She goes to this school to find her dad's killer because they have the other half of that scissor blade, and then it becomes this huge battle shonen with clothes, and it's crazy. It's super goofy, silly. The animation's even super goofy. It's just something that I'm a big fan of, is just silly action where it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's just so much fun. I think anyone that enjoys that type of content can watch that show, and for the most part come out like, yeah, that was time well spent. Neon Genesis Evangelion, if you don't know what it's about, it's been long enough, and I feel like enough people talk about it. High School DxD, how do I even describe this show? I watched it when I was like 15, 16 is when I started watching it. I started watching it for the titties, and then I stayed because the story was actually really good. Unlike some of these other
has
shows,
a lot of titties though.
it does have a lot. Unlike these other shows that are like, very much like, don't get me wrong, it's shameless about what it shows you. But like some of those other shows are very like one dimensional and don't really go anywhere. Well, this one has like a lot of actual character growth and the story is like actually interesting and there's like a lot of really cool action scenes. And so I was like, oh, this is actually just like a really cool fantasy action show on top of like titties. So I mean, I think it's especially in like the harem ecchi genre. I personally think it's the best one and it's not close, but you know, I'm sure people have their tastes. Fate. If we're talking about just like mainline Fate, it's a story about 7 mages summoning heroes from, you know, history, like King Arthur and things of that nature. And going, you know, having a secret war for the Holy Grail. That's all you really need to know. The Monogatari series is a weird one. This is this is my favorite anime of all time, my favorite anime series of all time. It's very dialogue heavy, and like I wish I knew Japanese because apparently the author that wrote these light novels does a lot of really interesting, and they have such a really good understanding of the Japanese language. There's a lot of like wordplay and things of that nature that doesn't really get translated over well, and I'll never fully appreciate. But it's, you know, it uses supernatural elements with these girls to like progress the story, and unfortunately, there's also a lot of weird shit in it. Like there's a scene with the main character and his sister and a toothbrush, and I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Yeah. The middle right. Yeah, the middle right one, Yozakura Quartet, is really a really underrated and underappreciated anime series that I've yet to meet someone else that's watched it. And I don't think it was that kind of out of left field for it. It's a world where humans and yokai, and so like, you know, monsters like werewolves, ogres, things of that nature live together, and the main characters are part of like a committee that go around basically defending people. They're volunteers. There's a thing called like a rare phenomenon known as strikes, where animals or humans can get struck and a yokai gets infused with them, and so they're like in charge of dealing with it. The bottom left one, I haven't watched this series since it came out, which was like 2010 or 11. The main character has mystic eyes that can see the perception of death, something like that. God, dude, I should have rewatched the series. Actually, I need to. Anyways, supernatural, super crazy. It's got fucking beautiful animation. It's done by the people that did the Fate series, Ufotable, whatever you want to pronounce it. It's my favorite anime series of all time. At the time, obviously, I still hold that in high regard, but I should rewatch it because I don't remember much about it. Katanagatari is one that I recommend a lot. It's super long though, quote unquote. It's 12 episodes, but they're 50-minute episodes each. And the main character, which is the two in the middle, the two main characters, the girl goes to that island because they'd heard about this type of people that practice sword style that doesn't use swords. It's their hands. So they themselves are like the weapon. And basically she wants his help to go around collecting 12 legendary blades. And that's essentially like each episode is a new blade. And so you're like following these two as they're like developing their relationship as friends or like, you know, partners in this situation. And then you get to see some really cool fight scenes. The dialogue is really well written, and it's just a really cool adventuring like fantasy style series that's very unique, I feel like. And I haven't really found too many that have made me feel the same way. And then Hellsing Ultimate it's pretty much like over the top fucking ridiculous action, goofy ass dialogue. It's like edgy as fuck for no reason. It's basically in the same line as Kill la Kill. I'm a really big fan of over the top action with really crazy music, and like I don't like things like these things don't take themselves seriously whatsoever. And so it just kind of fits in that timeline. Like if you've seen Hellsing, you know what it's about.
I think that's why I like JoJo. It's just over top bullshit. Yeah. Just like what the fuck's happening right now.
So you should watch Kill la Kill and Hellsing because they're both in the same genre, even if they aren't exactly the same. Because I think JoJo's a little more goofy. I think Kill la Kill I think would probably be closer to JoJo. Hellsing is still goofy in its own way, but it's more like, I don't know if gothic goofy is the word I would use. Any thoughts?
I'm not too surprised. I think Alan out of all of us is like the more diverse person to watch anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are looking a little more grounded, huh?
No, I take it back. I take it back. You know?
I take it back.
Yeah, compared to yours, Kris. Yeah, you know, it's more grounded. So I sure, yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't know. I thought I would know most of these, but there's like a lot of these that I didn't recognize.
It's the problem is because a lot of these series are like longer. Like, you know, as much as I love a lot of these, I'm be like, oh, dude, you got something I want to recommend? Do you want to watch 8 movies? Or hey, do you want to watch my favorite anime of all time? He's like, sure. How long is it? Oh, it's like 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Or
a lot of seasons.
you know, depending on like, they'll be like, oh, well, what do I want to watch? And it's like, well, I can show you Kill la Kill. And it's like, then they see like the transformation scenes, and some people are put off by that. And it's like, okay, well, my bad. And then it's like, okay, well, what about Fate, right? And it's like, well, then I got to watch all this other stuff. Like, no, you don't have to. And then I have to like explain Fate to them. Hellsing, I've recommended Hellsing, but you know, it depends. That's also like, not everyone's gonna enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same with Yozakura Quartet. I think that one's also like, you just kind of have to be like in it. I don't know. I like fantasy. Fantasy is my favorite genre of any medium. And I don't know, something about demons, yokai, werewolves, and things of that nature is also really cool. Those are really cool action scenes. Again, the writing and characters aren't like super amazing or like the best around. That's not why I have it. I just can always watch it, have a good time, and it always makes me feel good. And then like very rare, like there's very few people in my life I can recommend High School DxD to seriously, and they don't just like laugh at me.
Yeah.
So that's why like most of these I don't talk about, let alone like show people. Because like even with Monogatari, there's a lot of weird scenes with even the child character on the front. And I'm like, okay, I don't like that either. So it is what it is, right? So yeah,
there was one person on Facebook that asked the question: is there any anime that I can watch that doesn't like involve high school students? And my first thought was, good luck.
Yeah, good. I mean, but my favorite
for sure, but good luck finding one.
My favorite romance of all time is actually with college students. I thought about putting it on here. I was actually going back and forth between 3 and the Hellsing spot. So I thought about putting Hellsing. I thought about Golden Time. Golden Time is my favorite romance of all time. And it's with college students and dealing with like amnesia. So the main character in that one, Daquan might like this one. The main character, he had an accident. He like fell off a bridge and then got hospitalized for a little bit, and he got amnesia. And so him waking up, you know, when you have no memories of your previous self, you're all of a sudden bombarded with all these people that are like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're safe. I'm so glad you've woken up. But you have no recollection of them. You have no connection of them. And so he he moves away. He goes to college in Tokyo away from his small town because he feels guilty that he can't return the feeling that like those feelings that people are giving him. And then in Tokyo, he meets this girl who he thinks is really attractive. And then he finds out that she has a boyfriend. And then it becomes this whole thing where they become friends, and then their relationship develops. And then the last 2/3 of the show, it's like their relationship and like their problems, drama gets thrown in. And then like as the story's progressing and he's trying to build his life with this new girl, memories of his previous self start slowly coming back. The worst part of that show is a character the main character's name is Banri. There's Ghost Banri, and Ghost Banri is like his memories trying to come back. He's the worst part of that fucking show, I'll be honest. But the show's good. So it was Hellsing, Golden Time, and then Red Line. Red Line being the racing movie. And that one is just stupid, crazy racing in space in the future, and it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Okay.
I'm not surprised that Daquan doesn't know most of these. I am more caught off guard that like Kris and Jeremy don't know more of these.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't recognize. I know what Fate is. I didn't recognize the art though.
Yeah, I know what Fate is as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a big. Again, this is like why I like Fate Go and like all that other stuff. Again, I'm a huge fan of the stories that Nasu and the Type Moon universe have. And so that's why I'm like, I have Fate on there as all of Fate. The one underneath it with the girl in the red, that the Garden of Sinners, that's also a Type Moon like story. So those 8 movies are also part of that universe. And I don't know, something about the way that he writes these stories. They're not all perfect. They have their issues. But I don't know. I'm just they strike a chord with me, and I'm such a huge fan.
Sorry, I'm going through like Crunchyroll, like romance anime to see which ones I've seen.
Yeah,
I don't know why Dan the Dan is on here.
it has romance
I
elements.
mean, I've seen it. It's just weird that it's all here. I get
Well,
it.
I mean, I think it's a little
off the wall.
I think it's a little early, and the manga is a little bit more out there. But yeah, I get you. I get what you mean. Dandadan is actually becoming more and more getting closer and closer to my favorite manga of all time as I read it every week.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that was everyone's 3x3. Let us know down below if we have shit taste, base taste.
Pretty much.
And you cannot talk shit to Daquan. We all know.
It's fantastic. Trust me.
Oh my god.
It's fantastic.
So we'll do our basic weekly wrap up. You know how it goes. Jeremy, other than Monster Hunter, what's going on? What you
Other
doing?
than Monster Hunter, bro, how you know I'm just playing Monster Hunter, bro? No, I'm kidding.
You should play something else.
Oh no, Monster Hunter is fucking top tier.
Yeah, it's top tier, bro. You should play it if you haven't. Oh my god, bro, come on now. Other than that, Tekken 8.
Yep.
Tournament season is upon us. I have been playing that game for longer than I should. No, I'm kidding. I need to play more. I need to play actually. I might play after this.
I'm going to Monster Hunter after this.
What else? Nothing really else. If you're a wrestling fan, Elimination Chamber, Chef's Kiss. That shit was insane. Just want to say.
Yeah, he was talking about it before the podcast.
If you know, you know.
Oh.
That's it for me.
All right, what about you, Jeremy? Or Jeremy Daquan?
What? Damn.
I was
all black people look.
Oh my god, not this shit again, bro.
Oh my god.
I was looking at you when I was fucking saying it. Get over it.
Yeah.
Just doing some I don't know, doing some YouTube surfing for some information, more game dev research, and then had a buddy come by, said hey to him for a day, and then haven't really played too many things, just been existing, I guess.
That means you should play Monster Hunter.
True.
No, that means I should not play Monster Hunter. I can respect that community. I'm just not part of it. So I appreciate y'all for having a good game, but we don't.
What about you, Kris?
This week I finished reading a bunch of books that I've been putting off. I finished this book called Astoria, and it's about setting up the first colony in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. and like all the hardships they had to go through. And let me tell you, man, that shit was rough. They had to go through a lot of stuff. And I got to the end of it, like obviously it's history. I don't think you can spoil history because hey, spoiler alert, they eventually made it over there. There's at one point, like after a year of traveling across the country and like facing just the worst kinds of shit, they get to the Pacific Northwest, and several people in the expedition are just kind of like, yeah, no, it's not worth it, and they just go back. And I find that insane. You already spent a year, and then they're just like, nah.
You spent a year traveling through the shit. You get there, and they're like, nah, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I've been listening to that. That was great. And now I'm reading this thing called the 5 a.m. Club, and it's about waking up at 5 a.m. and maximizing your life. But it feels really cultish. And
it is cultish.
It is cultish.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And
yeah. So
I think
I just want to get through it. It's a short one.
I think a lot of, like, don't get me wrong, I think there is some good about some of those things that those types of books can give you, especially depending if you want to, like, maybe get some good habits in your life, I think that's fine. But I think there's a cult mindset behind all these like self-help books, like the 5 a.m. Club, or like how to make friends and influence people and all this other stuff that I see, especially because it's in sales. You see it in sales all the time. And I'm like, you guys are fucking weird. I don't know, man. I'm so like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some good that you can get out of that book, even me, right? Like, but it fucking, I can't help but feel weird reading it and being like, oh, bro, this book changed my life. I was like, go fuck yourself. It's not changing mine.
Yeah. It's interesting. I just want to see what the whole thing is about. It's not too long, so I'm just going to finish it, see how it goes.
That's fair. Yeah, other than Monster Hunter, because that's all I've done this weekend. I mean, I think that's it, really. Fuck. Tekken.
Yeah, yesterday.
I've been playing so much Tekken.
Yeah, dude.
Like yesterday, I woke up, played Monster Hunter, took a nap, woke up, played Monster Hunter, went to sleep, woke up this morning, played more Monster Hunter. Now I'm here. And I'm right after this, I'm gonna play more Monster Hunter. It's crazy.
Dear God.
I'm just saying, dude, that game's fucking fun.
Oh, I see.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in, listening to our good or shit anime takes. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Peace out.
Yeah.